All right, so it's good. I've been back into a back testing session. Haven't done one in 6, 7 days. Just took a little break, just clearing my mind, away from the charts. I have work, I have school coming up. I'm going into trade school to be an electrician. So there's that. There's just a lot of things going on. I may want to start up like a Discord or a Telegram group with just traders, putting a lot of information in it just for helping everybody. My information, you guys' information, whatever helps, just push us to, profitability, being able to be free, self-sufficient, making money, etc., etc. Overall growth is what I strive for. So, but yeah, all of that really just comes from me doing these backtesting sessions. So, eventually it'll involve, excuse me, eventually they'll evolve into like funded things, trading a live account, trading a funded account, going that route. So these backtesting sessions will eventually evolve into that. So instead of it being backtesting until I get XYZ, it'll be trading a funded account until funded, or trading a live account until withdrawal, things like that. So there's a lot of growth that can happen from this channel here. So stay tuned, subscribe. Like I never say this stuff like, comment, subscribe because I think it's just cliches. Like, hey, it's a YouTube video. If you want to watch it, watch it. If not, don't. Who gives a fuck at the end of the day? If you find value in it, like, subscribe. If not, I can care less. But yeah, so I'm gonna jump into a backtesting session because I haven't done one in a minute. So hopefully I'm not rusty, right? Um, I have been like taking a peek into the 2022 mentorship, just rewatching things, looking at like what ICT considers a fair value gap, things like that. Um, so hold on one second. Let me pick up this call. All right, yeah. So let's jump into this. Let's see what we can pull from this. Hopefully, FX replay isn't on some BS. 'Cause it looks like it is. It's playing around right here. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Um, let's go play with ES for a little bit. Uh, awesome. So again, jumping into it, still want to continue using Type 1 schematics. I'm trading towards the higher time frame liquidity, using the lower time frames like the 15 minute as that time frame for structure and framework for the day trade. Excuse me. And then using the lower time frame to find that fair value gap and enter in once liquidity has been taken out. So using the daily time frame, what did we just do on the higher time frame? So we have been trading lower here, and we've been taking out some lows. So I want to see some lows taken out and then see if we can retrace higher into the range. So we took out this low back here. We took out these lows. We kind of wicked it, and then we're pushing back higher. So what can we be pushing higher to? There may be like a fair value gap or an order block, like somewhere in here that we can use, but I can use. Hmm. So there's a tiny, tiny fair value gap or inefficiency right here, right there that gets tapped, and then there's one up in here. So it's balanced right here, and then there's this one up here. So cool. So since we took out liquidity here on this down move, we did create a bullish order block with a volume imbalance here that we fully filled, came back down into and then pushed higher. So with this being Friday, this may just close out. So the week may just close out like this, and then we are going to have a weekly order block there. So let's see what we do. Let's just go to the next session. There we go. So this is Monday. Yeah, so now on the weekly, we have this fair value gap here that price can come into, and we can see if we form a high in here. All right, so yeah, we have this big gap that price can trade up into. You can see what we do from there. So looking bullish for the start of it. With this being 9 a.m., looking back, it's like we have some lows back over here that I'd like to use, and especially this gap down over here, this new weak opening gap. See if we could trade down into that and then push higher. So this is 9 a.m., 9:15, 9:30. It's like we generate some equal lows there. Nice. Took out those lows. Now, this is like prime 2022 mentorship. Once the low gets taken out, drop down into like the lower time frame. 5 minute, do we see a fair value gap? Nothing yet. 3 minute, see a fair value gap? Nothing yet. 1 minute, kind of weird price action. We do have an inverse fair value gap here, but on a 3 minute, it looks like there's a fair value gap that's most likely going to form. But we do, looks like we have an order block right here on the 5 minute. So with taking out liquidity here, I'd like to see if we can, hold on 1 second, make sure that the audio is still working here. All right, cool. So with taking out the liquidity here, we could see if we can push up higher. Oh, also keeping in mind that we do have the shift structure as well. But on the 1 minute, we do have that. So we ran out sell side, fully filled in some inefficiencies here, have some volume imbalances on the sell side that we can use. Shifting structure here, we can look for higher prices up in here. So that sounds pretty reasonable. We're looking at it from this high to this low. We are around the mean threshold, but on the daily chart, I'd want to push up into that gap. So let's see what we do here. I like this. So I'll go ahead and take this trade, place the order. We'll go 0.5%, manage risk accordingly. We get triggered in. Price drops down into this inefficiency here. Let's see if we can get some reactions away from it. I'll look at that from a higher time frame. Looks like we can't. Looks like it's failing. It's respecting this imbalance over here. Yeah, I'm gonna get out. The reason I'm getting out is because I'm seeing that we're respecting this inefficiency with this, respecting this volume imbalance right there. So it may push lower. Yeah, that made sense on why it would push lower. So that's fine. Do we trade down into that new day opening gap? We do. There we go. So we ended up trading down into that new day opening gap. Let's see if we oh, the simulation finished. What the hell? Stay here. Oh, this is December, that's why. Fuck. Okay. Alrighty, let me do this. Yeah, that was just a small loss. Let's go over here. YouTube series, edit it. Let's go into just widen it out. So now 2019. All right, so now should be good. Go to the next session, 9 a.m. Tuesday. Yeah. So it looks like the overnight session was pretty pretty extravagant. But on a daily chart, so we are bearish, higher time frame, just trading lower. We did sweep liquidity here, so we can come up into this gap up here. We could look like we could form a high inside of an inefficiency, or looks like some area here from a high at. But with the run above here, with the failure swing here, it may look like we're going to continue lower. We did take out some liquidity here. So if we're truly bullish, I would want to see speed and displacement back up into premium. But if we can't see that, then we look for lower prices. So for example, if this fair value gap and this order block resist price, then looking for the external range liquidity would make sense. So let's see, this is 9 a.m. This is 9:15, 9:30. 9:30 takes out the high, taps into the order block. Do we get a reaction? All right, so I'll just take this off and look at it from this perspective now. We took out south side back over here. Oh, wait. There we go. That's what I was missing. Yeah, so with this large overnight session, no need to take a trade. No need to look for a trade long, because this is just going to play inside the range, especially with it being a type 2. So good retracement, push higher, but something I'm not interested in. Next session, yeah, we still ended up playing inside of the range. Daily, yeah, failing to close below Friday's low after taking it out. So we took out Friday's low, but we're failing to close below it. We have a double top on Friday's high. So Friday's low we took out, came down into something inside of this wick, fair value gap, or order block. And we could target that high if we're truly bullish. Came down into this fair value gap over here. And then we could come into these relative equal highs up here. So let's see if we get a type 1 schematic. And there's news here as well. There's some imbalances above us. Open, form the low during London, failure swing here, pushing higher, shifting structure here. Let's see. This is 9 a.m. This is 9:15. 9:30 opens. Push a little lower, coming back down into the range. This is 9:30, right? Yep. Nice. I like this deeper retracement back into the range because this can look like a turtle soup, or at least what do you call this? OTE. Maybe not. Okay, now that we took out the low, now I'd want to see if we can get some movement higher, some displacement higher, because we took out south side. So I would want to wait for price to, form some structure here and then see if we can get that move higher. Let's see what we can do here. So we took out the low here. We took out this low. Nice. So we get a run on major sell side, forming a low here, forming a higher low, lower low, sweeping out liquidity once more, higher high. We should see and find support here. These order blocks, this inefficiency over here. No real need to go to like a lower time frame. There may have been something like on a 2 minute, but there's a 3 minute fair value gap right here that I can take an entry on to look for higher prices. So my entry would be here. Stops would be underneath this low here. And because this order block is here, it'll be at the mean threshold of the order block, targeting the highs because I want to see higher prices. So let's see if we could get into this. Placing the order. Monitoring on a 3 minute. We get triggered in. Price displaces beautifully. Price displaces beautifully here. Stops get moved into break even. With it coming close to the afternoon session, because I'm at break even, I can let it hold. So no reason not to let it hold. Fair value gap should hold there on the 15, but I'm already broken even. Stops in profit. This is lunch right now, so I'd have to let it hold. I'd have to hold it, but we did run up 1 to 2, so that's good. This is a clear setup. This is a beautiful setup right here. But let's just jump into PM session and see if we can pull something out. Looks like we get stopped at break even, which is fine. Cool. Get stopped at break even. But this was a beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. Ran out the stops, structured up here, and then pushed higher. Beautiful setup there. So let's go into the next day. Boom. So now, took out the low here, closed right at it, and then took out the low here and formed the low underneath it and then pushed higher. So we do have this volume imbalance up in here. We can target 15-minute. Yeah, we may not get a type 1 schematic here. We may just form a high on this weekly because it's already Wednesday, or sorry, it's already the end of the week. Hey, this was a inside week. And Friday is NFP, so let's see what that does. There you go. Ends up pushing higher. So new week opens. Okay. So now that the new week opens, what can we seek? Right? What is price likely looking for? Maybe this high, right? We could say. Maybe that high. Now, because we did close above this swing high here, then I could say that maybe we use this as an order block to continue higher for buy side and an imbalance up there. You have a 1 hour inefficiency here, previous week high up here, We had a run on this low back here with speed and displacement away. That's a bullish signature. So it looks like we may be pushing for higher prices. All right, so let's see what Monday does. Nice potential type one schematic forming now. Well, we already took out the sessions low right there. So the liquidity on the Friday's PM session is on the menu for me. I would like to see that ran, and then we could push up from that. So let's see what we can do here. This is 9 a.m. I should have took partials on that last trade once it hit like 1 to 2. This is 9:15. This is 9:30. We took out this low over here. That could, no, because there's no shift. Yeah, there's no shift in structure, so that's a no trade. Okay, there could be a potential trade here. No fair value gap yet. There is a inverse fair value gap on the 3 minute. Me personally, these relative equal lows, I'd want to target and like really use. That 3 minute inverse fair value gap supports price. Again, running sell side here, failing to run below this low, pushing higher, shifting structure, come back down to the inverse, and then push higher. Yeah, that makes sense. But the relative equal lows below us, I'd want to take those first. Looks like we just run up into that buy side level, which is fine. Taking out the previous week high. Well, let's go into the next session. Yeah, that would have been a nice trade. Um, but let's see what we can do here. Again, still continuing for buy side liquidity. Make it a type 2 here for sure. This is 9 a.m., 9:15, 9:30, pushing higher. Cool, so we make it high, displace lower aggressively. Looks like we find support here at this order block. So right there at that support level, I want to see price start rolling higher. Nice, ends up dropping a little bit more. Failed to get a displacement leg. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's coming for these lows over here. And looking at this from this time frame, this is on the 15-minute, ran out highs, ran out highs, ran out highs. I'm reading the ICT book that he recommended. It's not even his book. It's by a Larry something. It's called Street Smarts. He says it in one of the ICT mentorship videos, where he gets his turtle soup. That's the book that he got turtle soup from. It was published in 1996. I'm currently reading it now. It's right here. This is the page. This is what it looks like. Hold on, let me make sure I'm showing you. Yeah, this is what it looks like. High probability short term trading strategies by Lawrence Connors and Linda Bradford Raschke. I'll put it in the description. Oh, also in like the group, like I have a bunch of books, like PDF books, like Street Smarts, the Larry Williams long term profit, short term trading, whatever it is. Some psychology books, like different things like that. I could just drop that for you guys. Let me know if you guys want those. Um, but this is like a three Indians pattern that they talk about in here. that ICT often talks about. But yeah, we run out buy side on the previous week high, right? We take that out. We have a high here, and a high here where we form and we take it. We push higher, and then price drops. Shifting structure here. We get a fair value gap right here that price can enter in at, and we could trade lower away from. Um, Looking at it, I mean, this makes sense. It makes sense to take a short, especially for the relative equal lows that's here. So it's maybe a nice type one schematic that I can take. So it is a counter trend trade. It is something that is pretty risky. So I'll manage I'll manage it correctly here. I want to look for like a one or two, and that's what I'll go ahead and do. We'll manage it correctly here. 0.5%. It ends up dropping. What is this? This is 11 a.m. Let's see if we can get a push up and then a trade back down. May not. May continue lower. It did take out. Didn't take it that low out either. This is PM session low. Maybe in the PM session it'll come into it. So I'll take this off and then see if we could get a cleaner entry in the PM session, because this is really good for a potential sell side delivery we can get. So once we enter in to this fair value gap, I'll drop in on like the 5, 3, and 1. See if we can get a protocol, entry protocol in there. There we go. See what we can do here. Looks like we just displaced. This is the full 3 minute. There we go. 1 minute. Doesn't look clean, but and this is still 12:30, so no trade. This is 12:45, still nothing, and 1 p.m. Nice. Okay, so we came in, made a high, made a swing high there. This low that came into the gap gets broken. You have a fair value gap in here and in here. Possible entries. This order block looks clean. There's this big one, the parent order block, and then the propulsion candle. I want to see something like this. I mean, it could work nice 1 to 3. See if we could take this and manage things properly. Get triggered in. Looks like we're gonna get stopped out. Closed it. Looks like it's pushing higher aggressively. Yeah. Figured it would push up before it pushes down. Maybe take out the PM session. I mean the lunch high, and then trade lower inside of the gap. But, a lot of nonsense going on right there. So moving over into the next day, took a loss right there though, so shouldn't have taken that loss anyways. Greed and fear, and greed and fear, especially going against the trend and the draw. Continuing to push higher. No need for me to look for any sell side delivery. We could use support and resistance strategies right now and look to trade price higher for buy side. So using support and resistance because sometimes overcomplicating things, just makes it terrible. Right? So we have resistance right here, support, support, support. Diving in, we run below this low at the support level. We form an order block off of the support level, pushing higher. This is 9 a.m. Looks like we may have a fair value gap inside of this range here, but there is a order block right here. And I would not be afraid supports price. This is 9 a.m., 9:15, 9:30. Do we get that drop lower into the order block? We do. Nice. Now that we drop down into it, let's see how we react off of it. Of course. Nice inverse gap here. This is beautiful action off of it, especially running out these lows and then pushing higher. Inverse fair value gap. Nothing to be seen on like the bigger time frames. So I'll take this entry here, stops underneath this low here. Looking for the highs up here. There we go. And because I took that loss, what I'll do is go down here. Save. Boom. Get triggered in. Let's see if this, let me see. Let me see if support and resistance is the way to go. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know right there. I'll move my stop up here and start, using sound money management and risk management here and see if we could find support or continue higher because that's a 1 minute. We did take out liquidity too. Yeah, we gotta stop that break even. Let's see this. Let me analyze this. Buy side liquidity is up here. We did take out Asia's high. After we took out Asia's high, nothing. The fact that it did push up from here is a good enough scalp. The fact that support and resistance kind of like worked right there, kind of like, it's like, oh, okay, interesting, right? Well, then it leaves things open to say, okay, maybe support and resistance is good as long as you have a draw on liquidity. You kind of know where price is likely to go to using ICT concepts. And then on a lower time frame, like the time frame, like the 1 hour, you can say, okay, where's my support and resistance levels? Like I have this here. This was a resistance area. We push up above this high. I know that buy stops are above this high, so I'm not trying to sell above this. We come back down. There's a fair value gap here. If we come down into that, I can look to push higher. I don't know. Sometimes when you get into losing streaks, or you've been losing, or you've been testing something out, and it's just not. It hasn't been what you perceive it to be. Kind of makes you. It kind of tests you. Like right now, I've been battling, knowing what's the best strategy to go with. It's like I have so much data on so many different strategies. It's like, what do I choose now? That's just something that I've been battling. And, going in to figure things out with. That's why I've been gone. You know, just figuring out like what's the best strategy for me. Do like is ICT's stuff gold? Like, do I see people winning and being profitable with EMA crossovers, with RSI divergences, with regular head and shoulders and support and resistance levels, and then it's like I'm over here trying to be technical and order blocks and fair value gaps and XYZ, and it's just like I'm getting chopped when regular support and resistance is good, you know? So it's just like, yeah, I have to figure out, what makes the most sense because this right here is pretty clean, you know? It can work. Now that we look, and then I could make a rule that since we don't close below this low over here, and we still find support at this support level, this area of support, we may look to push higher still. I don't know. That could be a rule or something. I don't fucking know because it ends up pushing higher significantly. Swept liquidity, impulsed here, shifting structure here, fair value gap. Maybe that's what's been missing. It's like the support and resistance levels because that's the trade right there. Maybe it's support and resistance levels. I don't know. And now that's something to test. Like now I'm gonna fucking go back and test out support or resistance fucking levels. And it's like, what the fuck should I like? I've already been trading since 2019. Like, still haven't been profitable. Still in, like, I would say the same spot. I just know a lot more, So it's like, oh fuck, I don't know. Um, I ended up taking out this swing high back here. So now that buy side liquidity is taken out, we did sweep below this low. We are underneath this area right here of resistance that we've been seeing. So we did tap it. Now there is relative equal highs above here. I'd like to see that taken out. Let's see if we could trade up into that, take it out. Let's see, this is 9 a.m. 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, just dropping lower. This is 10 a.m. So if you get that run above those highs, nice. Now that we run above that, we drop down into the lower time frame, see if we could structure up. Still trading inside the range of Asia and London, so nothing significant yet. Excuse me. Yeah, traded up, closed once on the 15-minute, closed above this high up here, the range right here, or the zone, ended up pushing higher. Hmm. Once we took out this low back here, what happened on the lows? Time frames. Here's your order block that price ends up supporting. Mm. And then I get into like I don't know what works. I don't know what to believe. Like I don't know. It's confusing, man. It's fucking. And I know the problem. Like I just need to find something that I flow with that I know works and just stick with it. Fuck everything else on the outside and just like make it work for me. It's like fuck, man. I know too much. I know too much. Like, bro, you want to know how I know too much? This is how I know too much. Like, this is 2023. This is 2023. Let's go up 2022. Similar models. Running out stops here. Inverse fair value gap. I've been trading inverse fair value gaps before ICT has been talking about inverse fair value gaps. And I don't want to be that guy, but fuck it. Look, like, been doing things since 2022. I started trading. I started trading in August of 2019 when I joined IML. Look, fractal in nature. We see a bullish rejection block support price leaving a BISI. Higher time frames bullish. With higher time frames bullish, we should expect to see that BISI support price higher for higher time frame objectives. There is no speed to the downside, resulting in higher prices in direction of the higher time frame. So this is 9 a.m. Prior to 9 a.m., there's a fair value gap right here on the 1 minute. If we're bullish, we should find support here. Price finds support, and then we push higher. And then it ends up trading lower because the higher time frame, the 4 hour, is bearish. That's why the 4 hour candle comes in. That's where I was looking at my open high low close on the open high low close of like the different time frames. That's when I was diving into that. So there's open high low close theory that I can dive into. Like there's just a lot of things that I know, and it's just like, oh fuck, I need to just figure something out that works for me, and then dive into it, and like fully lock in with it. So, uh, yeah, wanted a back test, but just end up, I don't know. I do not know. Well, I'm just gonna stop it here. Yeah, man, decent session. I mean, one relatively solid trade. Um, but yeah, uh, until next time, which will probably be again this week, maybe tomorrow or maybe Thursday. See what happens. I'll go ahead and lock in, really come down with the strategy, and go from there. One thing that I've realized is that I can write down like multiple different strategies. It's just following them. It's just the discipline behind it. I can write down like I could probably five, six different strategies, all on a business card, all sound good, make sense, top down, but to apply it, to execute it, it's a different story. Um, but that's where I'm at. If anyone has any comments, any tips, tricks, or anything to help me get to where I need to go, which is ultimate self sufficiency in trading, know how to trade, open up a chart, look at it, analyze it, and I'm able to make a decision to buy or sell and have it play out about 50% of the time, because that's all it is, right? It's trading. It's a flip of a coin. As long as the edge is in play, you have a 50-50 chance with maybe a 51%, 52, 55% chance of winning if you're good. Not, there's the other odds. But yeah, if anybody has any tips, tricks, any things that I should watch or any books I should read, feel free, let me know. I'm coachable. I'm adaptable in certain different situations, situations and scenarios. So let me know. I'm open to anything. So I'll probably title this like I need information or like give me feedback or something. So just so that you guys don't have to watch the full thing, you guys can just, go down into the comments and help me out, man. Help me out. So until next time.